everybody and welcome to the Crafty Historian podcast. My name is Rachel and you can find me on Instagram as Ravenclaw Rachel and on Ravelry as RachelRavenclaw. This is my podcast where I will be talking about knitting and sewing, and occasionally I throw in some scrapbooking and some history. I am currently studying for a Masters in Public History at the University of York, and I am in peak research and writing time, which is fine, but it means not a lot is going on. It is fairly late at the moment because I unexpectedly have to go home tomorrow. So I was going to film this tomorrow, which is the Sunday. I'm going to film it today and then edit on Monday when I'm at home. So yes, we're going to do it nice and quick so it's less intimidating for me and less intimidating for you. But hopefully this will be interesting and you will enjoy what you see. We have a Ravelry group as well on Ravelry, which you can find if you search the Crafty Historian podcast in the groups section. I would also like to declare that I fully support Ravelry and their new policy, which they released the latter half of June, about banning speech of supporting Donald Trump and his organisation, or his administration, that's the word. So if you are angry, please leave, and any comments will be moderated if they are inflammatory or otherwise not in line with a tolerant worldview. Shall we hop straight in then? So I have a finished object for you this week. I have finished another pair of socks, and if you follow me on Instagram, you will probably have seen the saga of said socks. So here is one. These are my burgundy socks. This is a Regia 4-ply with navy blue toes, heels and cuffs, and Sheepy's Invicta Extra, I believe it is. It's a heel flap and gusset construction, and it's one of those weird Regias that doesn't stripe but pulls. I think it was the City Streets range, something like that. So here's one. This is the first one that I knit, and this is the second one that I knit, just to prove that there are two. The ends are not woven in, so they're not finished, but they are done. Now, if you followed me on Instagram, you will have seen the saga of casting off this toe. First of all, I was worried I wasn't going to have enough yarn, and I was going to be playing yarn chicken. So I took a picture of that, this tiny little ball of yarn that sat in the palm of my hand. It's like, will this go? Spoiler alert, it did, because I have finished said sock, and this is the end here. This is all I had left, so it did it, but not very, not with much to spare. But partway through knitting this toe, my needle snapped. So these were knit on 9-inch circular Knit Pro Symphonies, and you can see it just snapped off. I must have been putting it under some undue pressure or something, but it didn't like it. And if you remember last time, I was talking about the fact that I had issues with the cable on one of my other sets of needles. So I am now down 2 pairs of, well, a 2.75mm needle and my 9-inch circulars, which means I'm down 2 pairs of sock needles. What is this? It's rather alarming. So maybe I'll be looking either into something a bit more secure. Though I really love how the symphonies are joined to the cable. I've had no issues ever with these coming out. The ones I had last time were Zings. But I've got no issues with how symphonies are connected to their cable. But this is the issue of wooden needles. There we go. So yeah, well, it means I'm also down my 9-inch circulars. And I have been whizzing through socks this year. Whizzing. So I'm gonna have to go and find another set of those. If you have any recommendations, let me know, either in a message or down below. But yeah, these are 56 stitches on the 2.5mm circular, and yeah, I'm not sure what much to say. I think I did about 15 rows of rib at the top and just knit. I have cardboard feet to figure out when to put in the toe and things like that. Yeah, they're very nice, and they, once the ends are sewn in, they will be going into my sock box, which I did gift a few of my earlier pairs, so it was looking a bit sad and empty, which obviously just means I need to knit more, of course. My mum doesn't understand why I have so many. She's like, but you've only got one pair of feet. It's like, yes, but I wear them, and therefore I need more, and I love knitting them. So that's that. That is my only finished object this week. Let's see what else is on the WIP list. Starting with oh, that was a bit weedy. I apologise, but I do have a half object. You see me reaching for my sock blockers here. It is another sock, and it is the half of my Eiffel Tower socks. And I am really happy with these. They are gorgeous, even if I do say so myself. So these are an adaptation of the Springtime in Paris socks. The adaptation being that I do a toe up, heel flap and gusset. So it's worked from the toe up. It is a free pattern, and then there are this sort of lace here. It's worked inside out, so I had to purl all the way across the foot, which was a pain, but the effect is beautiful. And yeah, oh, I've already packed so I'm going, as I said, I'm going home. I've already packed the project bag for the second one of this because I haven't started yet. But I believe the yarn is by a dyer called Laines. Yeah, so it's V with lay inside, like lanes. It's a really pretty, but I can see it in my head. It's a very pretty yarn band. Maybe I'll insert a picture. And I remember the colourway is something about the bogeyman. But I bought it because it reminded me of my visit to Paris, hence the Eiffel Towers, and I thought the grey fit that theme as well. So yeah, half object. These are knit on 2.75mm needles. I cast on with 56 stitches. I can't remember. But yes, He's so pretty. Yeah. I have another sort of half object. It's waiting for its heel. These are my Game of Thrones socks. So if you haven't watched Game of Thrones and you intend to catch up, avert eyes, because these talks about the 10 female characters. It doesn't talk, but it symbolises the 10 female characters that were left at the beginning of season 8, and it shows when they die and when they pitch up in each episode. So avert eyes, all ye who do not wish to see. Because I have a half object-ish. As I said, no heel yet. And a heck ton of ends. Oh my goodness, yeah. It's like a mane inside there. They're caught around my fingers. So I think last time I spoke to you, I was just about to start this, which is my start of episode 6. So we have episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I just suddenly thought then, oh my goodness, what if I've missed an episode? But I haven't. I'm not a mad person. And each colour represents a character. So I've got Daenerys Targaryen, Missandei of Narth, Sansa Stark, Arya Stark, Brienne of Tarth, Gilly, Sam's girlfriend, Lyanna Mormont, Melisandre, Yara Greyjoy and Cersei Lannister. And you can see we start off with quite a chunky stripe, but we finish off less chunky. I used these sort of castellations with black when a character died, which then left quite effectively the 5 characters that were actually left alive. 50% success rate, not too shabby. So these 5 here, I won't say out loud in case there are people who are listening but not looking. And then I just did my normal decrease for a wedge toe. I still haven't picked up the second one yet. The second one is still at episode 3, I believe. Yes, so the second one is at episode 3. So we've just got a little way to go. Is that about half? Nah, yeah. So I've just got this much to do. They will get done, and then I will have to work up the courage to do an afterthought here. I've been watching some tutorials. I think I get what's going on, but I will probably do a practice for that at some point. I did cast on another pair of socks, because if you finish one pair, you've got to cast on a new set. And this is the first of my Christmas gifts, because it is July and I am me. So this is, most of my bags are full at the moment, so I'm using one of the ones that I am less happy about, which is this one, which I did win, so I'm grateful for that. And it is by Molly Klein Design. It's just not my style. I'm much more whimsical, as we can tell by, well, I don't know, the amount of Winnie the Pooh bags I have. This isn't even all of them. My favourite bear. So yes, not quite me, but it does the job. I've cast on a pair of socks for my sister. These are the cardboard feet that I was talking about. This is my sister's foot. That's not her toe. That's, for some reason I've got a tear in that, but this is where her heel is. and I can sort of guesstimate where I need to put the toe in. And I've already put the heel in. So these are working on my oldest needles, my oldest 2.75mm needles, which are so old, one of the tips is starting to wear away. Can you see that? This one has slightly eroded itself into a curvature. So they're due to break too. I'm gonna need more needles. So yeah, it's fine. I'm fine. Also, my sister knit a pair of these, so I have another pair on the same sort of length, but she knit them. They were my good ones. This is, I do have the tag, Dragon Hoard Yarns. I actually won this with this bag. This was from Katie of Inside Number 23's 2017 Harry Potter KAL. I've won these together as a prize. The bag and the skein of yarn. These colours are mad, but they're really lovely actually. I'm not sure I would have socks out of them. But she liked them, so we've got that. And the colourway is Molly Weasley. Yes, Dragon Hoard Yarns. It is knitting up really interesting. Like, it's so exciting when the colours come up, because you never know when you're like, oh, we've got some speckles, and then sort of the blue one will pitch up and like, oh, oh, there's some yellow, some green, and then sometimes there's a little bit there, sort of greeny brown, like, and then you go whoa through a whole spectrum of colours. It's rather exciting. So this is just a vanilla sock, 56 stitches, 2.75mm needles, sort of a magic loop. But I only did 12 rows of rib because, again, it's for my sister. And yeah, so I have that in here. I also have another one that she picked out because she, like me, is a December baby. So she'll get one pair of socks for Christmas and one for her birthday. And I have here a Pixel Atlantis yarn that Rosie gave me. I believe this is called Delivering Harry, and it is beautiful, but it has been claimed. Look at that, beautiful colours. Rosie does such lovely blues, so check out her as well. And those are the socks, because apparently that is what I knit at the moment. They will be coming home with me too. The other two projects I have to show you possibly won't be coming home with me. I haven't decided yet. I should probably take my dissertation one home, but I'll leave that one till last. So last episode, I believe I showed you my finished object of my bittersweet jumper, and I was itching to cast on a new one. And then the Honey Bop KAL started. So the Honey Bop Cardi is by Poison Girls, I believe, or Amy Appel, and it is living in my Winnie the Pooh bag. And this is my first 4-ply garment, and I must say I am in love with the fabric that it is creating. So here it is. This is what I've got so far. So I cast on the 1st of July when the KAL started. So this is 5 days worth because I haven't knit on it today. So this is the back. And it's in this gorgeous, it is bowing out a little bit. It's in this gorgeous red. sort of tonal variegated. It's gorgeous. I am actually alternating skeins. So I have 2 cakes attached at the side, and every other row I am swapping skeins. I've got a little bit of striping going on, but I'm not sure it's noticeable. It's noticeable when you're sat here looking at it. So you can sort of tell where possibly one skein was slightly lighter than another. You can't really tell the further out you go. Oh, you can tell a little bit up there. Yes. So yeah, I am knitting the size medium, which I believe is the 40-inch bust size. I'm just about to start shaping armholes, which was why I put it down, because I couldn't think mindlessly about it. So here are my 2 cakes. They actually look like cakes, but I did wind these by hand. And I am knitting this in Knit Picks Stroll Fingering in the colourway Heartfelt Tonal. Yeah, I think that's the name, Heartfelt. So it's 462 yards to 100 grams, 75% superwash merino wool, 25% nylon. And it's this lovely variegated skein. I have 4 hanks of it, which should be enough. I'm going to do full sleeves, omitting the puff. We'll see how that goes. I'm making this because I want my handmade wardrobe to be wearable, and one of the main ready-to-wear garments that I wear is a red cardigan. So, you know, let's knit a red cardigan, and if I don't lose the will to live knitting a 4-ply garment, a 4-ply cardigan, I will most likely knit more, because the fabric is gorgeous in this. I've had to stop wearing my knitwear at the moment because it's just too warm, even for me, and even in this ice box of a room. Maybe this, hopefully this will be the answer. So that's the Honey Bop Cardi. But I probably won't take that home with me because it's a rather hefty bag. And the last thing, oh dear, I've been working on, sorry, there was a bit of a project bag avalanche. This is living in my Écrit de Buch bag. And this is what I am calling, these are my dissertation mittens, which needs an explanation about my dissertation. So I'm doing my dissertation on the idea that knitting sort of can refer, different aspects of knitting can refer to the past, either specifically in reproducing traditional motifs or ideas, or even when you're subverting the stereotypes, as we are in the knitting community, and it is amazing. But even the fact that you have something to subvert, that is considered an interaction with the past. Even trying to innovate, you have something to build on. So that's that. I did on my Instagram put out a call for people to fill in a survey. If I remember, I will link the survey down below. If you haven't filled out my survey on knitting, on your experiences, then please go and have a look at that. I will either close it when I hit 100 people who have filled it in, or the end of July. So get on it, I guess. The data I've got so far is fantastic. I've had great fun processing it, so thank you to everyone who's already done that. But yes, that's a dissertation talk for a whole other point. But for a part of what I'm doing, I am reproducing a pair of mittens using a Susan Crawford pattern from a Stitch in Time Volume 1, I think, where one I'm using the original pattern from the 1940s, and one I will use Susan Crawford / Jane Waller's pattern. And I am starting with the original, which, let me say, is a bit of a pain. Because it's knit in the flat, and whoever thought about knitting colourwork in flat was clearly a masochist, as am I for considering to do it. So this is where I'm at. It looks so weird, doesn't it? It looks a bit weird. But yes, it folds in half, kind of like that. This is a thumb. I am knitting it on 3.25mm needles because I couldn't find anything on knitting gauges, and it said to use anywhere from a size 10 to a size 8. So anywhere from a 3.25 to a 4mm. And the Susan Crawford pattern had 3.25. So I will be able to justify, like, oh, I'm knitting it as a direct comparison of this to the reproduction. So I've done the first two sort of rows of the pattern. I've knit the thumb. I believe I've got another band to do, and then it shapes the top of the hand, which, I mean, I know I don't have small hands. Come here. Okay, we'll do it this way around then. But if that's the thumb there, which the thumb doesn't even fit my thumb anyway, we've just got another one of these sections before the decreasing. So what's that, 3/4 of an inch? Like, it's barely going to cover my second knuckles, I don't think, which is part of the argument. Like, you can't necessarily reproduce the past accurately because bodies have changed. That's one of my major arguments, which this will demonstrate beautifully, and I will get to sort of staple a pair of mittens to my dissertation. I've got hand in 2 copies, so one will get this one and one will get the other one, which I have yet to do. They can compare. I'm not sure. I will take pictures, and I have been taking pictures of the process. So I believe the pattern name is Fair Isle is Fashionable. But I wouldn't call this Fair Isle. It's colourwork, but I'm not sure I would call it Fair Isle. And I will admit I've been having some issues with it. Mainly user error, I think, because I just keep dropping stitches. I dropped one in the thumb gusset here at one point, but I caught it and pulled it back up. And then I dropped another one when I was moving across the thumb gusset, so I dropped it like here, I think. But again, I managed to pull it back up. But yeah, oh, it's been a trauma. Not helped by the rapidly increasing amount of ends that I've got to weave in. My floats, I feel, are looking okay. There are a few baggy ones down here, but they make you carry the yarn across, and then you have to purl colour work, and I'm not a great colour work person, and this was really stretching my abilities. So I'm glad I did this one first, and then I get the one in the round to do second. Like, this is so much easier. Because that's kind of what I'm used to. Whereas I suppose the people who would have received this pattern, they would have been used to knitting in a flat. So, horses for courses. I am not a 1940s lady, as much as I sometimes dress like it. Therefore I shouldn't knit like them. I'm using 4-ply West Yorkshire Spinners because the majority of 2 out of 4 of the colours I had in stash, which were the cream in milk bottle and the grey. I don't know the colour, it's a grey. And I bought the 2 contrast colours because in this sort of minty aqua and the teal, because I will use them. If there's one thing I've learnt, it's that I use solid colours. As I finished my navy blue this week, I use them for heels, cuffs and toes. I might also knit my mum a pair of cable socks in this for Christmas. See how that goes. Although I think, hang on, I think one of them might make a good, will that go? That could go quite nicely for heels, toes and cuffs. No, that's a bit garish. Yeah, maybe I'll use the teal for heels, toes and cuffs for the Pix Atlantis. Everyone in my family, including me, quite like contrast colours for heels, toes and cuffs. The only thing is that then means that more ends to weave in, but it's nice then also because I can reinforce them if necessary. So yes, dissertation making. It will be what's called a reflective process. So I'm writing notes as I'm going through it. I mean, that's the thumb and it doesn't even come, look where it is. I've got no hope getting this on. And I mean, it's not just because I've got long nails. I'm getting really distracted today. I'm really sorry. The whole point of doing these every 2 weeks was that I was meant to be getting shorter. I am not getting shorter as I'm looking at the time. But yes, dissertation thing is going and it involves knitting, and that makes me happy because I can knit and say, oh, I'm doing my dissertation. I'm making a pair of mittens, Rachel. So that is that. No, don't close the book. Right, last thing, and then I will leave you to it and go in the shower and go to bed. I have a small little bit of sewing to show you. It is sat next to me. I say it, she is sat next to me. And if you are long-term viewers of the podcast, please welcome back my furry co-host. It's Jane! Because we haven't established that I am insane enough yet. Jane is a Build-A-Bear. I originally bought her because I desperately wanted the Star Wars 50th anniversary uniform for Build-A-Bear. So she is officially a science officer, and she is named after my favourite Star Trek captain, Captain Catherine Janeway. We're going for the nerd strong here today. And, oh, this is sad. I wanted to dress her for summer, and I figured out I didn't have anything for her to wear. So I put her, I made her a dress. I drafted the bodice, the top, it has a back, and it's Velcro. Velcro is a pain to sew. The thread kept getting caught and snapping, so there's Velcro to there. So the skirt is open like that. flash of pants. You're welcome. So yeah, it opens. The skirt opens. Because otherwise, weird closures and stuff. I bound the armholes and neck with leftover bias binding from my navy blue shirt, and I just did a gathered skirt and hemmed the bottom with a double folded hem. I didn't bother too much on finishing seams. I did a line of top stitching at the waist just so I could make sure that the seam sat upwards and flush against the bear rather than getting lumpy. And this is just a scrap piece of cotton that I had laying around in this gorgeous burgundy colour. And now my bear has a dress, which I'm unfathomably happy about. It's bizarre, and I was going through a rough point at the beginning of the week. This was a manifestation of it. Like, yeah, no, you've got problems, dear. Yeah, actually really happy with it. It took a couple of hours maybe. Just sit, cut everything out, pin everything. But she's got a dress on. Yay! And on that note, which I think I've lost all dignity, I will say thank you very much for watching. I wish you a very nice 2 weeks, upcoming 2 weeks. I will be at Yarningham next weekend, so if you are there, let me know, or you are going to be there, let me know, or I'd love to say hello, as long as I'm not anxious. We'll see how that goes. So yes, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you all again soon. Bye!